What's going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we'll be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as, I believe, Zcash to US dollar. That was the popular choice for this week's altcoin to review. Those who voted on Patreon, you guys won. So Zcash will be this week's altcoin for review. Otherwise, we obviously have to be discussing the major outbreak within cryptocurrency. Obviously, you guys know Litecoin hit around $115, $16, which is phenomenal. It's a good thing, but there is a little controversy that we need to discuss moving forward. And I know a lot of you guys have the question as to, is it going to go higher? Is it going to go lower? When am I going to buy in? When am I going to sell? You know what my general plans are. So that's what we're going to be talking about in today's episode. Like I said, if you're new guys to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications. We're doing a giveaway at 10,000 subscribers. We just broke 9,500, so that's absolutely fantastic. Less than 500 more to go. Otherwise, let's jump right into today's episode. So guys, before I begin, I do want to just look at the current coin market cap, and you can see the market cap is 271.2 billion and a 24-hour volume of 93.9 billion. Bitcoin dominance is 56.7%, which is slightly lower than 2 days ago when I looked at the charts. I put out a video yesterday discussing the opportunities of real-world adoption with cryptocurrency, Litecoin, and renting Lamborghinis, which is pretty fun, so I highly recommend you check that out. It'll be linked at the end of this video. Otherwise, market cap is slightly consolidating, and we do have the 24-hour volume, which is in a slight consolidation pattern compared to where we were, yesterday and 2 days ago. Obviously, market cap is quite significantly up higher compared to like 2 or 3 days ago, but in terms of yesterday, we're in a consolidation pattern. Now, as we scroll down to the top 10, you can see majority of those coins are kind of fluctuating. Interesting to see Litecoin in the number 6 position. We're now at a 7 billion market cap, which is still fantastic and phenomenal. But you can see they are neck and neck with Bitcoin Cash and EOS, about 600 million from Bitcoin Cash and 200 million from EOS, even less, maybe about a 170 million from EOS. But majority of these coins are down except for XRP and EOS. EOS is taking off right now, up 6%, but majority of the market is consolidating. A lot of green, a lot of red, just kind of 50-50. So we're seeing that neutral sideways pattern. So that is definitely a good thing to see. And we are going to look at the cryptocurrencies now so that we can get a general understanding of what the hell is going on. So Litecoin, I know a lot of you guys are waiting for me to make videos like this discussing what the heck is happening with Litecoin. So I'm just looking at this market right now. Is there potentially an uptrend? No, I don't really see that. I know there was a lot of controversy as to what lines can be there. I don't really see that. I believe there was a cup and handle that formed. Where is it? Maybe it was on Bitcoin. It might have been Bitcoin. We'll check that out in a second though. But we are seeing a breakout, and it is definitely an interesting pattern to check out. And I do want to give my comments, concerns on this cryptocurrency. There was a lot of interesting comments on Patreon. I know we had a lot of support on Patreon, but as well as on the YouTube channel in the comments. So I'm a conservative trader. If you guys want a high risk, high volatility, potential losses, don't watch my videos, because this is not the channel for that. I am a conservative trader. This is not going to make ends meet. I'm not trying to do cryptocurrency as a full-time position, as a full-time job. So with that being said, it's not a huge concern that we try to capture every single run. I'd rather miss a couple runs and make profit, then invest in one being selfish and emotional, and I end up losing it, because some of those who bought in thinking we were going to go up higher, who bought in potentially at, who knows, 113, we shot all the way up to, wow, 120, and are now seeing the ass end of the market and seeing this retracement happen. So I know a lot of you guys are asking me, when's the next buying opportunity? And I think that's a beautiful question, because now we have to reevaluate the markets. What was interesting to note too is the fact that when we did break out this time, I definitely was considering that we were going to head up higher. I definitely threw that into the mindset, because I was basing this off previous times when we tested that retracement, or when we tested that resistance. This previous time we tested resistance, but we just blasted right through. Interesting. This time we tested resistance, we blasted right through. So it made sense that we were going to shoot up in a way, but it was also noticed that we were nowhere near or that's not true. We were very close to being overbought. We weren't overbought during the run. You can see right now we're on the cusp of being overbought, and we're already at like 114. So moving forward, what are we going to do? So we're looking at Litecoin right now. We're looking at Litecoin's chart. We're going to eventually look at Bitcoin, which is the ultimate factor, and deciding what exactly we're going to do. But seeing Litecoin retrace. So we're going to look at Bitcoin and figure things out in a second. But in terms of buying, areas, where am I going to buy in at? So if we use this as an example, you'll notice that we were much more overbought previously back in the beginning of April, and then we retraced back down to this uptrend right here. Our ascending wedge, we traced to the uptrend, and then we fell lower. That was because we were so overbought to begin with. Now looking at the market, we can see that we're not nearly as overbought as we were, and are just on the cusp there. So I don't think that 102 is a resistance. I'm just going to zoom out really quick so we can all see whether or not this is a resistance. It's tough, I guess, but there's not much there. More so, I see more down at 96. So that is definitely a possibility right there. 96 does happen to actually come into contact with this uptrend. So when would I be buying in? That's a big question. Now, obviously, we do have to reevaluate. $88 isn't necessarily the buy-in level to be buying in at. So we have to, reevaluate, and we see that, okay, so we're now overbought, or we're just barely overbought. So a retracement back down to our uptrend would be the most ideal buying position to put in 10% of our, portfolio in case we fall lower and we have to dollar cost average. So buying in on this uptrend, whether that be $98, whether it be 102, that would look very nice. To see a retracement back down to there should lower us back down around 50 on the RSI, which would give us plenty of potential to move up higher. Now, obviously, we have to anticipate a downtrend and a pullback, which could inevitably be down to our high-low MMA, which is down at around $80-ish, around $80. So we would be dollar cost averaging from, an area of $100 all the way down to 80. And then we would be anticipating a run back up to 100 and make money off of. So I'm really looking to see whether or not we test this area. Is this going to be the retracement? Are we going to start to retrace back down? That's what we're going to have to find out. If we do, that's when we buy in. So shout out to all you who held and, made some money and bought in when I told you guys to buy in, or when I was buying in, and just held it up and didn't sell off when I did. Good shit. You made a crap ton of money. That's absolutely awesome. Otherwise, guys, we're going to look at Bitcoin, but really quick, I do just want to discuss what exactly Patreon is. Guys, Patreon, we're literally at 82 patrons out of 100, which was my goal for when I made it 3 months ago. Never in a million years did I think we would actually achieve that goal, but we are so freaking close. So huge shout out to everybody who is supporting me on Patreon. It does seem to be worth your while, though. The community is growing so well, and it's gaining so much knowledge. You guys are updating me, not only me, but yourselves, and really making a community for Litecoin and cryptocurrency for the die-hard beginners, as well as more of the enthusiasts within cryptocurrency for a better understanding of the market. And honestly, I love you guys for the community. It's literally something I was dreaming about happening, and now it's actually coming true. So it's awesome. For those of you who don't know what's included on Patreon, Patreon is a way to get exclusive access to my live updating charts, as well as, joining an ever-growing community that we discuss when are the best potential buy-in opportunities, when are the best times to sell, things of that nature. And I also offer tutoring, and it's a way to contact me one-on-one instead of through, the YouTube subs, which I know is tedious, and it's hard for me to respond to 10,000 of you guys, but Patreon is so much easier to get that one-on-one connection. If you guys are interested in that, it's the second link in the description. Otherwise, to check out Bitcoin in reference to Litecoin. So a lot of you guys, I posted on my Patreon to update you guys first, but the reason we broke out was pretty clear here. 2 days ago, we made a video tracking this ascending triangle that was forming on Bitcoin, and as you guys can see, resistance was broken at 8,200, and we saw a pretty big pop. Now, understand we're just near overbought, so there is that potential to see a pump higher. It's definitely not out of the picture, but more likely we could see a retracement back down to around 8,250. When we see this retracement, that's most likely you want to be buying in. And all we can really do is just extend this. We could even consolidate out at the price level that we're out, and we could see movement like this on Bitcoin, which would also be ideal. But we're looking for retracement. We're looking for pullback. I know we're headed up, and I know it was a missed run. I didn't feel so good about it, and I wish I did buy into it. But you know what? that's kind of how it is. We'll catch the next one. I've been doing this for over a year now, and I've been graphing these charts every single day for over a year. There's always next week's run, guys. There's always going to be another one. So it doesn't really matter if you miss one. As long as you get the next one, we should be A-okay. Let's lastly check out Ethereum, then wrap things up with Zcash. I'll just graph that really quick because I wanted to show those beginners how exactly I graph my charts. Ethereum didn't break out of its uptrend. That was interesting. It's actually at its resistance. So this is a key indicator that we need to take into consideration when looking at the rest of the market. These are the top 3 blue chip cryptos in my book, and obviously they are all synced as one. So to see that Ethereum didn't break out of its uptrend, and to see that it's facing resistance right now at an area of, overbought, or at that line, it's another indication that a retracement lower is definitely not out of the picture. So we're anticipating this. We're preparing ourselves. We're getting everything ready for this retracement, potentially down to 230. If not, a pullback all the way down to 215, where our uptrend begins, and that's where we want to be buying in at. Obviously, Ethereum looks very nice too, so if we do see this retracement back down to our uptrend, I will definitely be buying in and updating all of you guys. And then lastly, Zcash. Looking at Zcash on the weekly, first things first, let's add in our horizontal line. So we see bottom support is right around here. Boom. We have some more right around here. So you can see where I'm getting these. We have, oops, did not mean to do that. We have these points of contact right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means that's a horizontal line. We have more up here. Let's see, right around here seems to be one. A little more difficult, but there was a uptrend there. We then have a downtrend, a small downtrend, which we can draw in some symmetrical lines, where we traded downwards from our resistance, but have broken sideways out of this uptrend. And you can see it was necessarily a break to the upside. Out of all this downwards consolidation, we finally started to travel back up. Now, understand, it looks like Zcash is trying to pull up to its, high-low MMA. So there's definitely that possibility there, guys. Zcash, wow, is trading at $86, which is quite a bit of money. But you can see we're significantly undervalued compared to Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum's charts. When we look at those charts on the weekly, you can tell that we are right now in our high-low MMA. We weren't at one point, and we pulled right back up to it in the beginning of the year. So it doesn't make sense for Zcash to be hanging out down here. Truthfully, I think it's going to pull back up to here. And it's definitely possible that we have a region for Zcash to go from $85, up to $140 and in between $400. Now, that's a big break right there, but that's where our high-low MMA is. So I now want to look at the daily, and we'll wrap things up with today's episode. You can see that, things look okay for Zcash. I'm taking everything into consideration right now. You'll notice we are starting to break to the upside, but we are nearing overbought. So it looks like most of these coins are nearing an overbought market, which is a pretty big indicator that consolidation is definitely due. We need that sideways trading. We need that pullback that will ultimately let the coins start to move up. Let's see. Okay, that looks really nice. Another thing to also take into consideration is Zcash is a fairly new altcoin, so it literally was just added, at least to US dollar, on November of 2016. It's not terrible. I've seen worse, but it's only, we have like 2.5 years of trading and charts on it, so it's not a terrible coin to invest with, but we definitely get into pickles when we start to trade with coins that are fairly new. There's less charting to graph off of, but for the most part, this coin does look good. I'm also, noticing a small uptrend that could be forming. Is this a possibility? I think so. So I'm going to leave this here in the hopes that we do at some point come back down. Honestly, a retracement back down to here is definitely an ideal position, and it would lower us back down to 50 on the RSI. If not, a small retracement back down to our high-low middle moving average would also be ideal. Otherwise, guys, that's going to sum up today's episode. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up. Let me add this line right here real quick, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. Peace.